Mark, 3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. If you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 336-464-1806. Mark, 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Stations, we're coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, Mark. 1 minute stations, 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Coming up on 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds stations. Have fun.
On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield, welcome to the Rice Owls Basketball Show with Scott Pera and Lindsay Edmonds. Now to lead things off, here's the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes. Welcome back. Streaming in high def. See, we make progress week 1 to week 2. We're streaming live on the Rice Owls social media channels. A good howdy-ho to all of you. And we're on the Varsity Network app, the Rice Owls Game Day app, and riceowls.com. Coming up in seconds, we have Rice Owls third-year coach Lindsay Edmonds, and then we'll talk to Emily Klasick. And then Coach Pera comes by for his segment of the show. Then after that, we have Coach and Max Fiedler of our Rice Owls. Just broke the school's all-time assist record. So attaboy Max, the one will strain to pull some info. The Rice women here coming up this week, hosting SMU right behind us around the corner at Tudor Fieldhouse. And then they're at FAU coming up at noon in sunny Boca Raton. The men are at Memphis, and then at UTSA coming up on Saturday in the Alamo City, just down I-10. All of those on ESPN Plus. All of those on the Varsity Network app, Rice Owls Game Day app, etc., etc. Joined now by Coach Edmonds. All things considered, how we doing?
We're doing all right. It is a new day. It's a new week, and we're ready to tackle it.
Amen. First off, for the current, that just happened, that tough one at Tulsa, just around the corner at Tudor Fieldhouse, 70-65. You're down 19, tied it up a couple of times late. What do you think was the difference in the end? I guess not getting down by so much, obviously, in the beginning, but what do you think made the difference in that one?
Yeah, I feel like we were a little uncharacteristic on Saturday with our start. We've been really good in all of conference play and coming out and getting off to great starts. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that at Tulsa or at Memphis, and I don't know if that's to the adversity piece. I don't know if that's the juggling of pieces piece. I don't know exactly what it is, but what I do know is this team fights for one another. They don't hang their head. They fight for the jersey across their chest. They find a way to scratch, claw, and get themselves back into games. So I'm proud of that effort. I just wish we could have got off to a better start. First quarter, we were shooting 50%, which is great, but we let some things happen defensively that I don't think we typically would have let happen. So we didn't pull away the way I wanted us to. And then second quarter, we had a huge lull of just not being able to put the ball in the basket. So again, starts are so important. And I just think we just didn't get off to a great one. But proud of our efforts to fight back and to make it a ball game and not let Memphis just run away with it. But we got to do better from the get-go.
You're playing without 3 key rotation players in that one, and you're not using that as an excuse, I know, but what did you see from the women that stepped in there and how they adjusted? I guess it took a few quarters to get used to it, at least a half to get adjusted.
Yeah, I think we're dealing with some adversity. We're shorthanded. We're missing some key players. But I've talked all year about how deep this team is, and I truly believe that. And we need to continue to have that next woman up mentality. And I think we've done that in a lot of ways. I mean, Haley Adams was incredibly impressive against Memphis. I thought Emily was very impressive against Tulsa. So we've had players step up and step up in big ways to help us in those games when we're a man down or 2-man down or whatever it may be. So again, no one's going to feel sorry for us. No one's going to take it lightly on us. So we got to make sure that we don't feel sorry for ourselves either and realize we are enough. What we have is enough because we're that deep. And there's teams all over the country that are dealing with adversity. So we got to just make sure that we're turning the page and we're ready for the next one.
You see that grow in your third year. I guess some obviously not been with you the whole time, but you've been through this in different types of adversity in other seasons. It's like, okay, things are going to happen during a season. They're not going to gripe or moan or just start crying about it. You have to deal with what's there. Like I know you've paraphrasing what you've told me in the past.
Yeah, for sure. Again, that first year team, we weren't built for this, right? Like we couldn't have handled these injuries because the season would have just had to been over, right? Because that first team wasn't built like that. We were so shorthanded to begin with, and so that's where the mantra of win the day came about because we felt like there was, trying to think about winning a game or winning a conference or winning whatever seemed too big, right? So it's like, let's just focus on winning the day and how can we translate that to start stacking some days. And so this team is built, even though you don't want injuries to happen ever, this team is built to handle with some injuries. And I still feel like we're just as talented and we're capable of stepping up and still taking care of business. If we have that win the day mindset and motto, I still think we can do a lot of great things while we're waiting for a few to return to us.
That Saturday game against Memphis, 73-66 setback. Again, playing a little bit shorthanded, but wanted to kind of focus in on one of the big positives. Haley Adams, a career high in points and in rebounds, 15 and 12. Her first career double-double. Speak to her, and was that playing a few more minutes from her usual rotation or just getting more reps? You see some confidence build, and I know she's progressing in that way. So what did y'all see from her? Yeah,
she was phenomenal. I mean, I watched the film back yesterday, and just her presence on the offensive end and the defensive end was there, and we needed every bit of it. So I think she's shown in spurts, from Wichita State to SMU, at SMU, to some other games of what she's capable of doing. And again, I say this all the time. We see Haley Adams in a different light in practice every single day. She's aggressive and she's confident, and she impacts the game on the offensive end and the defensive end. But sometimes in games, she hasn't had that confidence on the offensive end yet. She's had it defensively. But I felt like at that point, she was like, if I don't do it, who else will, right? And so she just started taking the ball to the rim, which is what I've been begging of her to do anyway. And she goes and gets layups, and I'm like, oh, looky there. I maybe know a thing or two. But no, she was tough and she was aggressive. And, she passed up on one at the end of the first quarter, and I pulled her over, and I was like, we had 6 seconds. You had the ball. Go get a layup. Don't look to pass to anybody. When you get 2 feet in the paint, go score. And we saw her translate that and do it in the third and do it in the fourth. So proud of her growth. Again, she's a redshirt freshman. So she's thrusted into a lineup. She's thrusted into like trying to fill Malia's shoes. I keep telling her, like, don't be Malia, be Haley Adams, and just be the best version of Haley Adams that you can be. So, there's been a lot that's been thrown at her, and I think she's dealing with it very, very well. Her teammates have uplifted her. They encourage her. So it's been fun to see.
Good things happen. You take it to the rack, Coach.
Very
I say it all
true.
the time. Very a basketball truism, right?
Yep.
Also on Saturday, Destiny Jackson, a season high 20 points. She's had so many great games for you in the past. What did you like about her in that game specifically?
I don't think DJ had a great first half, right? And I challenged everyone at halftime to step up and be us. Like, we were flat. We didn't have what we needed to have to control the first half. And I thought she came out and she took punch after punch after punch and was like, I'm going to will this team and put the team on my back. And I thought she did that in a lot of different ways. And so I think she had 27 and 7, if I'm not mistaken. So 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 20 points. Like, it's pretty impressive. And again, she is someone that can impact the game that way every single night. And we need it. And we need it even more so right now when we are a little shorthanded. So I was proud of her for being challenged and responding to it. But she's someone that there's not a lot of defenders that can keep her from getting to the rim. If she has her mind made up, she's getting to the rim.
An old East Texas high school football coach told me, hey, the other team practices too. So I always remember that. I know it was hard to sustain runs in that game on Saturday. Memphis, obviously a quality team. But you got things going late in the fourth. Did you see a stretch where it did get better? Were you able to sustain those runs? And what do you have to do to try to, because every coach wants to have a long run, but what do you have to do to lengthen those?
Yeah, we did have some runs. And, again, this team fights, and they don't give up, and they compete, and they want to play for each other. I think they want to play for Rice. They want to play for me and the coaches, and they want to give their best. It's not ever a question of that. It's just, how do we get off to better starts? How do we not let lulls happen? Because sometimes when you dig yourself a hole and then you fight like crazy to get it tied up, then you're out of gas to get us over the hump and get to that next possession or get that next stop or get that next score. So proud of them, though, for that. And I think we're going to continue to get better and better. And I think this is going to help us again. These adversities in January are still going to help us late February. They're still going to help us in March. And we got to just take care of business one game at a time.
Any timetable when you could get the other players back, or just too tough to tell?
Hopefully soon. I mean, Shelby is probably long-term. The other two, I'm hopeful that we can get them back sooner rather than later.
Good. And all the excitement of our show starting last week, I neglected to ask you a show I usually ask at the beginning of the season in the different coaches' shows, but your staff. Since we have a little extra time, speak to your staff. Are there any changes from the off-season, and just how you lean on them? And obviously they accentuate you, and you obviously put into a lot of their game plans that are successful.
Yeah, for sure. No changes on my staff in this offseason. This past year, was able to keep everyone. Love my staff. Incredibly blessed to be able to work with them every day. I feel really grateful to come into work and get to work with them. They make me better. They push me. They have my back. So I hear horror stories of head coaches that hire the wrong people, and I've been really fortunate that I have people that believe in me, believe in Rice, trusted in me, came here, and they're just a joy to be around. So really grateful for my coaches, but also my support staff. I couldn't do it without them. So, we go on road trips, and they're sometimes long road trips, but you always come back, and I send out a message to all of them like, man, y'all made this so enjoyable. And it's just nice to have dinners with them, and we sit around and talk and we laugh, and after film sessions, and we just stay down there in the lobby and kind of, talk, or the meeting space and talk. And they're a lot of fun, and they're a great group of people. And it makes it so much easier for me to be away from my family when I'm with my basketball family, because they're that great.
All one big family.
All right? One big family.
All right, let's take a look at the upcoming games. Wednesday hosting SMU, 500 on the year, game below 500 in conference, but really close one last time. Exciting one that came down to the wire, but they're coming off back-to-back home wins. You know them from the last time you played them. What's SMU present?
Yeah, they've got a player back off the injury list for them. since we've played them. So a great 4-player for them that can stretch the floor and shoot the three, but can also bang a little bit in the post. So that will present a little bit of a different matchup for us from the first time that we played them. They were essentially playing 4 guards. Now they'll be playing 2 true bigs. But yeah, they're definitely going to try to come back and get one on us on our home floor, because we snuck one away at the buzzer at their place. So I definitely am anticipating it to be a great matchup. They're going to be trying to get one on the road. We need to take care of home. We let one slip by with Memphis. You always want to take care of home. You want to win the ones at home, because winning hard is hard in general, but winning on the road's really hard. So we need to take care of that. We need to take care of business. But they're a great team, and I think they have a lot of pieces that can score the basketball. So we got to make sure that we're taking care of the basketball and slowing down their scores.
And quick look at FAU. I know all the focus is on SMU, but Anaya Hubbard, looking at the digits, 19 points a game. You're only meeting with them this year. How big is that? Just the one and back. I know you have a few of those this year on the road, just at an earlier start time, too. You make any adjustments?
Yeah. So heading out on Friday, hoping to get down there early enough that we can get our practice in, get our film session in, get our dinner in, and be in the bed at a early time, because it is an early start. So we need to get off to a good start on the road. It is a one-time opponent for us. So those one-time opponents, we need to take care of business, whether they're on the road or at home. But Hubbard's a great player. And I think Jennifer Sullivan does a good job. I think she's going to do phenomenal things at FAU. And so Hubbard is a big piece of her success. If we need to slow her down and we need to not take any opportunity for granted. We have an opportunity to prove who we are and what we're about. And no matter who we are playing against or where we're playing at, we need to showcase that. And everybody's giving us their best shot. We need to make sure we're giving everyone our best shot too.
All right, tell us about Emily coming up here in this next segment. Some of the things I know you've described on our media calls, just the joy that she has brought to the program as a transfer that's come in, and by what you've told me, and just perfect puzzle piece coming in there, fitting with y'all for the offseason.
Yeah, you go into the transfer portal, you never know what you're going to get. It's speed dating, right? Like, you go into the portal, you see this name, and you're like, let's call, and then, like, you move just so fast. And because if you don't move fast, others are moving faster. And so Emily's name went in, and I was like, man, can we get in the mix? Like, would she be interested in, like, in the conference sliding to Rice? And so Coach Nick called first. I had a great phone call. He's like, man, I love this kid. Like, she was awesome on the phone. I got on the phone and was able to talk with her and just, like, got off, like, smiling. Like, man, this kid is great. So we knew her from playing, but then just being on the phone with her, she has been exactly who she was from the first phone call every single day. And you talk to Emily and you can't help but smile. And she is a joy to be around. Her teammates love her. They voted her as a captain by the end of a summertime. I mean, I don't know if everybody realizes how hard that is to do. She comes in from another university, and within an 8-week period, she gets voted to be one of our team captains. And I think that just speaks volumes of who she is as a person, and how much everyone genuinely respects her and looks up to her. So it's been awesome. I tell her all the time she's special. I mean that in a lot of different ways, but she makes me smile. She makes me laugh. She plays hard. She competes. If she messes up and you get on her, she's like, I know, Coach, I got you. Like, I got it. And it's like not a hard feeling because I'm getting on her. So yeah, she's been perfect. It's been a joy. I feel like we really looked up with her and Susie. They came in and elevated our program from a standpoint, not even basketball related. They came in immediately and elevated our program by who they are as people. And then Emily's also been able to do that on the court as well. So it's been a lot of fun coaching her this season. I'm grateful to have her for 2 seasons.
All right, let's hear from her next. Emily Klezak will come to the couch here, and we'll chat more with her. Coach Scott Pera of the Rice men's team comes on after that. Stay with us here. It's the Rice Owls basketball show from Learfield.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
The lights, the sounds, the cameras, the electricity. If you can feel it, hear it, see it, chances are an IBEW electrician built it. The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great. When your next construction project needs to be on time and on budget, it's time to hire IBEW electricians. Learn more at IBEW716.net.
Rice teams and traditions are legendary. Our team as strategic wealth designers are proud to be a partner of Rice Athletics. What an honor to be working together. When you're ready to discuss your financial future, call the team the Owls trust. We look forward to creating your winning strategy for retirement. Visit us at swdgroup.com today and go Owls.
Bringing you more Rice Owls men's and women's basketball. Here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Dee, welcome back here, the Rice Owls basketball show on the Owls social media channels, also in the audio version on the Rice Owls Game Day app, the Varsity Network app, and riceowls.com. And I didn't mention it in the first segment, but also on that Rice Owls Insider podcast. That way you can listen to it however and whenever you want to. Joined now by a first-year player on the Rice Owls roster, Emily Klazak. Emily, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Outstanding. And all my years of interviewing, folks, my 12th year doing this, the players are more enamored by hearing themselves in the headphones.
Yes.
It's just like your AirPods or whatever.
Yeah, so it is. I didn't expect to be able to hear my voice back. I thought I was just going to be able to hear what you were saying, but
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a little
cool.
It's a little different, but you'll next 8-10 minutes will fly by. How is this? Obviously good in the recent sense from your play. I know you'd have 0 points if you could get a couple wins, but speak to your great game the other day and what led to that.
Yeah, I think this year, especially conference play, our team has done an excellent job of our preparation going into games, and I think that has been able to take us very far. Obviously, we fell short against Tulsa. We fell short against Memphis, but Coach always tells us that if we remain consistent in our preparation and we come up to each game, like, our effort's never a question. It's just more of if we're going to win that day. And obviously, we fell short that day, but I think as long as we keep preparing the way we are, we're going to be fine and we're going to be doing good.
So I think you could hear it back there when you heard Coach talking about it from their end. You're in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to it from your end. What intrigued you most about Rice? And obviously there has to be some kind of connection with the staff. So what was that from your end coming here to Houston?
Absolutely. I was very excited when Rice reached out. They were the only school in Conference USA, now American Conference. And I just very much so remember them being a very physically tough team, a team that competes. I mean, obviously I didn't look at them too close because I was a competitor of them last year, but I knew Coach E was like a player's coach. She seemed like a coach who fought for her girls. They were very good. They were 4th last year up until the conference tournament, and so they were a very good school, and part of where I wanted to go was a team that was really competitive, really good, winning, and I think Rice checked the box for all of that. Came on my visit, and it was very clear this is where I was going to go.
Coach, you see a point where early in the season something clicked with her where she's getting used to knowing where to go here, obviously the grind of the classes when things started slowing down for her maybe?
Yeah, she fit in like right away. Like, I mean, I was a little worried with her summer schedule that she had to take on academically. I was like, hey, are you doing okay? She's like, yeah, I'm good. And maybe she was not, but she never let that show. So I feel like she kind of just jumped right in and hit the ground running academically, athletically, and team-wise. I mean, again, she everything she does, she goes so hard. And I think that's just the way she approaches life, and she approaches everything that she does. And so I never have to question that. She's always going to bring energy. She's always going to bring effort. She's always going to go hard. And then the exhibition game, when she went crazy, I was like, all right, Emily Klazak, like, welcome to Rice Women's Basketball. So she just continued to elevate us in so many ways. But I think it was literally like a match made in heaven. Right away, she was able to do really well off the floor, on the floor, and she helped our program, and she's a joy.
So pretty easy adjusting to Houston, coming from the Chicago-ish area.
Absolutely, yeah. I really like the weather. I mean, it gets really hot in the summer, but I love it this time of the season.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So you grew up with 4 brothers,
I
read in Anthony's notes here on the website. I mean, full basketball team, or was the age separated where some were out of the house? Or y'all were playing pickup in the driveway?
Roster. Yeah, full roster. So I have a brother who's older and then 3 who's younger, but we're all within 2 years from one another. So yeah, growing up with 4 brothers, it was great. Very competitive household, a lot of sports. We all played basketball at some point or another. So a lot of driveway basketball was being played or down at our local gym.
Okay. Where'd you fit in the order there?
I'm second oldest.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you could kind of push them around.
I could push them around,
but
but they always made known that they were going to push me around at the same time.
what are you studying?
I'm studying history and education.
Okay. What, you want to teach, or what do
Yep.
you want to do after?
Yes. The goal is to be a high school social studies teacher and then coach women's basketball alongside with it.
Okay. When did you start playing?
When did I start playing basketball? I would say first grade. I played Park District. My dad and my best friend's dad were our coach. We were like the Pink Panthers, brown and pink jerseys. Nothing serious. Park District for a long time, and then really started to pick up, I'd say, around middle school with like AAU and the middle school team and such like that.
Did you know then that you'd be playing college or have that opportunity first at UAB, of course, but then when did it kind of click, or who was a motivator for you to say, hey, I could do this at a level higher?
I would say probably going into high school is when I really was like, yeah, I want to make this happen. Before then, I had a lot of like inspiration by other older girls who went through my high school or were playing at the college level within the Chicagoland area. But it wasn't until I got to high school where AAU got serious and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to go play collegiately.
And you've really turned it on since conference play. Do you attribute that to getting used to more, or I know there's been some like players missing and you're stepping up, of course, too, but what do you attribute you're really ramping up your production here recently?
I would say maybe a little bit of that, and also just a little bit of time, conference. I guess I'm familiar with it being my 4th year playing. Yeah, I would say just a little bit of time, getting used to the girls and the program and everything. But
And what did it mean being voted captain so soon, as Coach was also mentioning?
yeah, it was a really big honor, to be honest with you. I think our team has a lot of leaders on every level, upperclassmen, underclassmen. The locker room's never silent after a win or a loss, so it was a really big honor to be named captain at the end of summer.
All right, other sports you played or like other sports around Chicago, or what's your...
I'm a really big football fan. I like
Okay.
to watch the Chicago Bears. Unfortunately, sometimes because they're not doing too great. But
hey, number 1 draft pick.
true,
All right,
number 1
they're
draft
coming.
pick. Yeah, I wonder who they're going to
They're
get.
keeping Caleb Williams, so that's the question.
Quarterback. Yeah,
I think I don't know.
I don't know. We'll
You
see.
probably pay more attention to the Bears. I'm a Cowboys fan, so
Okay.
don't blame that on me. But discuss, you're about halfway through the season. What do you see as some keys from the player's perspective that, hey, we're doing this well, but kind of down the home stretch we need to focus on, or things that we're doing good we need to continue to heighten there?
I think our consistency is very good. I talked a little bit earlier about our preparation. I think we've had a lot of really good practices. I think our mind's in the right spot. We know the direction we want to go, and now it's just a matter of putting that into action. And every conference game, just understanding the expectation and how competitive our conference is. Our team wants to do a lot of really good things, and I think we have the ability to. So we're really excited for the next game, and we're excited for our next opportunity to get back on the winning column.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Go get them.
Thank you.
That's
Go Owls.
Lindsay Edmonds and Emily Klazak of our Rice Owls. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have Coach Para coming up here. It's a Rice Owls basketball show from Learfield.
Whether running a marathon or walking your dog, every movement matters. But when you're in pain, simple activities can feel unbearable. At Houston Methodist Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, our specialists can help you heal faster using the latest technology, minimally invasive procedures, and advanced physical therapy. As the top-ranked hospital in Texas, we have the expertise to keep you moving and help you get back to doing the things you love. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment. 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling, the official beer partner of Rice Athletics, and now available for purchase everywhere in Texas. The Yingling Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Please enjoy responsibly.
Aw, shucks, the game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear, Sync My Game is here.
Sync my game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
You're listening to the Rice Owls Basketball Show. Now let's rejoin the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
I got to tell you what, each segment, the camera creeps closer and closer. By this next one, it could be right in our lap. Coach Para, how are you doing?
Good, JP. How are you? Good to see you again.
Can't complain one bit. We got the new accoutrements on the set here. I feel more and more like Letterman and Conan each day. The owl's not as heavy as you think, though. It looks like this big golden owl, but it's not.
And I actually have that same coffee cup at home, so
Okay.
I recognize that one.
Good company, good company. Well, we got a lot of things to get to, and Max Fiedler coming up next segment with the bright lights here in showbiz. I don't see Max in yet, but we'll talk about him in a second. Two very differently constructed games, but two games that were close for different parts of them. First off, falling to Tulsa. Now 48 hours or so after that, your thoughts after that unique ending. We've been doing this a few years together. We haven't had an ending together like that. That was a strange set of circumstances with the controversy towards the end there.
To say the least.
Yeah.
So you weren't at UTEP 4 years ago.
I was actually. That was
So
yeah.
we have had
Well,
one worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all time.
Yeah.
This is now second.
Okay.
In terms of, I don't know what the word is to use, a shame that it occurred that way. But, you know, like I told the guys, got to try and do our best and not make it come down to that. Play better, you know, during the game, which I was disappointed. I wish we would have, but we were incredible down the stretch. I mean, the guys did everything they needed to do to give us a chance, and then we had that chance, and I felt, unfortunately, it was taken from us, which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. How about the ending? Discuss the sequence. As I was looking at the play-by-play coming in here, and it was, I should remember it now, but it was like you scored 15 points in 90 seconds or so to get back in it to make it a game. What went into that?
Well, our kids, I thought they didn't panic. In other words, sometimes when you're down like that, it's such a rush to just get a shot up, and then you miss one and you foul the game kind of over. You can't miss any opportunity. And then look, you need some good fortune too, and we got that in terms of, you know, we made shots, but at least we took open good shots, and we really did a good job of fouling quickly. We did a good job of getting a turnover by denying passes, and we got another turnover I thought was a foul that was not. When Alam went for the loose ball and got hit, but we still kept our composure. Max made an unbelievable pass, and unfortunately we didn't get the call to go our way. It's part of it.
I know every game is different, but is there a general rule of thumb with coaches where you have to know when to foul and find when that right point is, or is it all about each game is kind of like a snowflake? It's totally different.
You got to look at how many you are down. Someone's got to do math in your head in some ways. Like you're down 7 with a minute 30. Well, if we get a stop here and score and there's a minute 15, we're only down 5 or 4. We don't need to keep. You got to try and play it out. And then the other thing that plays into it too is how good of foul shooters are the other team. If they're really good foul shooters, you got to try and kind of wait, to the guy that you want will he touch the ball, And then it gets to a point where it doesn't matter who it is, you have to stop the clock. So as that shrinks, all that plays in. We kept making shots and scoring, which allowed it to put a little more pressure on those free throws. And so our guys just really, really handled it well, about as well as you can handle it. And had a chance, we thought to have a chance to go to overtime, and we didn't.
We'll get Max's first-person response coming in a second, but let's brag on him while he's not under the bright lights here. He breaks the all-time assist record as one of those inevitable things, and I meant to send a DM to Max Gersey, but to see what he thought, because I remember the situation where he got the all-time. He broke Dana Hardy. It was like you kind of knew it could be his last game, and he barely passed Dana, but with Max, you knew it would come. Just what does that mean in his totality? He keeps adding to that trophy case, so to speak.
Yeah, you have to have a notebook out, to all the things that Max has accomplished, and when he's done, will have accomplished here at Rice. And it's just been amazing to watch him. And he continues to pile up numbers. And I ironically, while I was waiting I just got a call from Derek Lasser. You know, he and I talk still all the time. He follows every game, and he lives and dies with us still too. And he just said to me, he said, Coach, I don't know if I've ever seen a better offensive rebounder than Max. And he is truly amazing. He's got great instincts and hands, and a tremendous desire. And you combine all those things, and you see what he's been doing, rebounding the ball for us and just putting up huge numbers and giving us extra possessions and doing all the things that equate to winning games. And if you're not winning the game, having a chance to win the game. And we've been in every game, as you know. All the way almost to the end, except for Tulane, and we had, that was a 9-point game with 10 minutes before that kind of went sideways on us. So, the goal is to keep getting better, find a way to win the close games, and maybe not make one not so close down the stretch too. That would be nice as well.
That FAU game Wednesday, 5-point game, pretty late in that one with some shots. They hit some free throws down the stretch that widened that a bit, but that the win was the win. Credit them, but. What did you like, by the way, the guys stayed in there, didn't relent, and still made that pretty close game the last few minutes?
Yeah, it was 57-52. Max had the ball in the low post. He put the ball on the floor. The kid stunted down to try and make him pick it up or whatever. And Max kicked it out to Noah. The kid fell down, and Noah was wide open, 57-52. He missed it, but it was a good shot. We got another stop, came down. Trav drove, tough left-handed layup, maybe a little contact, but he missed it. Max had the ball right at the rim, Golden 7-1, kind of tipped it away from him, could have cut it to 3 there. So, or maybe even tied if Noah makes a shot. So our kids, we were down 13. We didn't waver. I'm really proud of them how they hung in there. We gave ourselves, again, a chance there in the last 3 minutes of the game to beat a very good team. And, it's frustrating because we know we're capable of playing very well and beating, some of these teams. But at the end of the day, your record is what your record is, and we got to find a way to get these wins, and that's what we're going to keep striving to do. We had a terrific practice today. The guys were energized. We're loose. We're excited for Wednesday night. And as a coach, as long as we're practicing sharp and they're engaged and they're locked in, I know good things are going to come our way.
You have 42 bench points combined in the last 2 games. How big is that to get that pushing in the right direction there?
It's critical. We have to get production off the bench, and I've continued to talk to Anthony about the production he's bringing now, but he's preparing better in practice. He's, kind of embracing this role, coming off and providing energy. And, Noah, we've seen, all year in practice him being such a good shot maker. Now it's time to start translating those to the games, and hopefully that game the other night will carry him to start being a consistent shooter because we all know he can do it.
And no jinx, guy in the couch next to you last week, Alam Husainovich, 28 points combined the last 2 games. Just something about that. I was joking on the broadcast, that 22-year-old grown man strength. He seems to have really clicked here these last few weeks. It's not just a couple game sample size now. He's making a long stretch of this.
No, and his effort is great. His work ethic is tremendous. His level of caring is what we want from older guys, like Max and Trav as well. And we need it. We need him. We need him to be good, and we're counting on him and confident that he will remain that way. He's an integral part of what we're doing, and I'm excited for him.
Let's look forward to Memphis being the Bluff City coming up Wednesday night against Penny Hardaway's bunch. So many close games this season. I did the math. 11 of their 20 games this year have been decided by 5 points or less or in overtime. So.
Wow, we got something in common then, I guess, huh? Especially the way things have gone lately.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's obviously got, if not the best talent, a top 2 talent team roster. I mean, he's been top 10 this year, too, top 15. So what's this year's Memphis team look like?
Very talented.
Yeah.
They have great guard play in Quinterly. They have terrific wing play. They have low post scoring. They have length, athleticism. Guys that have played a lot of college basketball and been very good. And they're coming off, 3 tough ones in a row, too. So we know they're going to be chomping at the bit, and we're going to have to be really on our A game on the road Wednesday night. And but our guys are going to be confident, and they're going to be going and play loose, and we're going to let it fly.
Yeah, David Jones, leading scorer in the conference, doing good things. At UTSA coming up Saturday since you last played. They beat Tulane, lost in OT at Memphis, and then lost against FAU. So UTSA is still cranking up the shots and making a lot of them, too. Right?
Yeah, and they have tremendous guard play, too. Tucker and Ivory Curry are just tremendous players. And, they played well against us. They've been playing well against everybody. I mean, Ivory Curry had 37, I believe, or 38 against FAU, right? I mean, he was phenomenal. And they pose a challenge, too, and it's on the road. So we got big 2 games on the road this week. And, like I said, but our kids, our guys are excited, to play the next one, to find a way to get over that hump and maybe put together a little winning streak. And that's what we're focused on. And mainly just on how well we play, what we need to do to be better. That's what we're continuing to focus on.
All right, that's Coach Para. More with Max Fiedler coming up next here. This is the Rice Owls basketball show from Learfield.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
The lights, the sounds, the cameras, the electricity. If you can feel it, hear it, see it, chances are an IBEW electrician built it. The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great. When your next construction project needs to be on time and on budget, it's time to hire IBEW electricians. Learn more at IBEW716.net.
Owls fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. So whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit any of our 40-plus Houston area locations or thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Rice University Athletics.
Bringing you more Rice Owls men's and women's basketball. Here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
We're back as I choke on a cough drop. Coming back, that would be fun. Go put that viral, Joe. Make it go viral, however you get things to go viral. I'm J.P. Heath. We have Scott Para immediately to my right. Obviously, the formerly shaggy-haired Floridian, still a Floridian. It is Max. Don't call him Fiedler. How you doing, Max?
Doing good. How you doing, JP?
Outstanding. I bet you can't wait to get rid of me, so I stopped making that joke. I tell PA guys it's not Fielder, it's Fiedler.
I appreciate it.
And I don't think we've had any mess-ups here. So in the current, since I know you don't like talking about yourself, I'll make you talk about yourself. What did it mean? Obviously, I know you trade all the assists to get a couple of wins, but just being the new all-time assist leader. And when did you find out? Did you know, I guess, going in that could happen? Or
no, I didn't really know it was on the radar as a cool accomplishment. But that just means I've been playing a lot of basketball.
You really had no idea?
No.
That's funny. The social media world of today. Well, you knew you hit 500, right?
No.
You didn't know that either? Wow, that's amazing.
My high school coach actually texted me something about it the other day. He said congratulations, but I wasn't really sure what he was even talking about. So I just said thanks and kept it moving.
This gives you an insight of what it's like to coach Max.
Doesn't surprise me, Coach.
He is always about one thing, and that's winning. And but as his career rolls down the road to an end, he's going to look back someday and be very proud of all that he accomplished. I'm very proud of him. I know that.
Yeah. If I told you 5 years ago, before your first game, 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Make sure I get that detail right.
Yeah.
You would be the all-time assist leader. You'd be, because you're on pace to be the all-time rebound leader. Here's some news for you, too, by the way. You don't have to check the gram for that. You'd be the all-time field goal percentage leader in Conference USA and at Rice. Would you believe me?
Not totally sure. It's all turned out great, and I'm just really focused on finishing out the rest of the year. And, all that stuff will, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But, it's just it's more for the statistics guys to like you guys to, have fun and get something to talk about.
What's interesting about it, too, for me is, everybody say, 5 years. But I'm telling you, like, when this is all said and done and you subtract the first year, he's still going to hold, I think, most of those records. Mm-hmm. And so that just shows you what his 4-year career here has been in the last 4. I mean, his freshman, he didn't play that much. He got a couple rebounds and, scored a couple buckets, but from sophomore now to this year has just been, an incredible, statistical, accumulation, and also been, the cornerstone of how we've built the program. And, I'm going to enjoy these last, 2 months or 6 weeks of coaching him and Trav for sure. for all those guys that have done. And, we got some memories left in us, and I'm excited, to get back out here Wednesday night and hopefully make one there.
Yep. Yeah, Max, what's it been like making that move going into the new conference? Obviously, so many close games and a really tough non-conference slate, too. What's it been like kind of in the segueing into this new era, so to speak, of Owls Hoops?
Yeah, it's good. Start off to the new league has been, rocky for sure, but, we've been, we think we're there, we're capable, we're ready to compete and just, hopefully, stay with it, just play a little better the rest of the year. And, more of the results will be going our way.
Mm-hmm. So for those that haven't seen you play, which I'm sure most watching have, then your idol there, they call you Baby Joker. What is that the main influence? I mean, you see a guy wearing number 15 doing the kind of wacky things you do, kind of I call you a wizard on air. Like, is that the main motivation? And whose other games have you added together over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of him. I've been, watching him in the league for a long time before, he was MVP and All-Star and all that. So, I'm a fan of his, but that's about it.
Yeah, so no guards that you look at?
No.
I'll tell Max a strange stat that he does not know. So, obviously, you coach James Harden. People ask you a lot about James Harden. That'll never be topped in the history of the world. But I can tell you this. The second most asked about player that I've ever coached is Max. I'm serious. Everybody kind of wants to know whether it's a media person, a friend, an ex-coach, an ex-assistant, one of my ex-players, or just fans of the game. They all have questions and want me to talk about Max. And so it's always, I always kind of remember that. James is, I've been, but also that was 15 years ago too. So maybe Max will catch him by the time, 15 years from now. But it's always fun to talk about him. He's challenged me as a coach in a lot of ways, which has been fun because I had to find as many ways as I possibly could for him to use, his wizardry or creativity or abilities, whatever words you want to use. And so that has been really fun for me, off seasons and even during the season, because we can do this because Max can do that, or we can run this because Max will see that, and they run this defense, Max will know what to do here. And it's just been a really fun thing to help me grow as a coach. And he doesn't even know that probably, but to coach him has been awesome.
Yeah, so I don't want to give away any state secrets or anything, but at the end of the game, I went back and watched the replay a couple times, that wacky ending, obviously, that I didn't agree with. But you switched, Max. Was that kind of you seeing something that they were running, and then the ensuing lob from Makai? Because it seemed like Coach gave you some leeway on that last out-of-bounds play.
Absolutely not.
No, that was an interesting discussion.
Yeah, that was,
well, there's going to be
the moment. There were two M's on the board.
Two M's on the board,
and,
yes.
I thought I was the other M.
Okay.
So which makes sense, right? He's the biggest guy, but to me, he's the best passer. So and he had size. So I knew they were going to put somebody with size on the ball. Well, that wouldn't affect him. And Makai can jump, right? I mean, he can. And I know if Max put it there, we'd have. And he couldn't. You can't make a better pass.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. So. It was, but there was a moment there where he was standing at the top of the key, and he's going, "Coach, point two." And I said, "I know you're the other M. You're the Makai's at the top of the key." And then boom, right on, perfect pass.
Do you have a favorite pass? Since I know you like giving to others, or a favorite dunk? You've been kind of a dunking machine this year. I need to check Tim's dunk counter.
Where's the one you did the pull up at? South Florida.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Oh yeah.
Should have had the highlight ready.
I don't know. There's been, a lot of fun moments.
You have a favorite pass?
My favorite recently are these. When you get it, you do the behind the head or the. I'm partial to the spinning kind of the bowling ball in the middle of the paint.
Mine's the left-handed one at UTSA to Jake last year.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
that's one we show that a lot in our recruit presentation.
Okay.
That's how I've seen that one more than all of them. But I know when it's coming. I get everybody ready. That's my favorite.
All right, Max, you tried to dumb it down for a state school guy like me in the past, but mathematical, economic analysis graduate, right?
Yep.
And again, the MBA right now. Specific emphasis in the MBA?
No, it's kind of like there's not really a set concentration. I think kind of as I go throughout the program and the electives I take might determine it, but for now I'm just kind of plugging away and trying to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, and speaking of, obviously you have the pro aspirations, or what do you want to do after the playing days? Kind of combo deluxe question.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. Just focus really on the rest of the season, and then kind of whatever happens from there, just keeping all my options open, and if there's a opportunity that presents itself, that would be amazing. But you never know what the future holds.
Let's keep him around Houston, Coach.
Well, I think that might be difficult. I think he's going to have some opportunities, and I've had some agents speak to me, and like I said, he and I talked a little bit about it. We'll wait till the end of the year and make sure we get him with a person that he and his family trust. That's the most important thing to me. And then whatever guidance they want to lean on me for, I'm here. If they want to take it from there and run, I'm just there to support. Whatever, but I think he's got a future to play, and he could play a long time somewhere, whether it's in the States or overseas. And we'll wait for those opportunities to present themselves at the right time. And I think he's got the right approach. Head down, get better and try to help us get some wins. But the other thing about Max that people need to know, that I'm sure most people here do know, as impressive as his statistics are in basketball, we all know it's just as impressive in the classroom.
Yeah.
He is and has been, and I've said this 100 times, he is the poster child for a Rice student athlete, and it's just been a joy to coach him. It really has.
Yeah, I got to end on that, Max. What's your time at Rice meant to you?
It's been great. It's been, feels like it's been, a long time, but it feels really good. I think it was the best decision I've made so far, and I just want to end it on a high note.
All right, say hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll give you a call later tonight.
It's an hour later there, so I'm sure they're not in bed yet.
No, they're up.
No, yeah, they're up.
Hey, Max, it's been a pleasure calling your games, and I can't wait to keep up with you over the years. Thank you so much for what you mean to Rice and just all the Max-like things. Appreciate you.
Sounds good. I'll see you probably tomorrow on the bus, right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, you can hang on?
Yeah.
Some Super Bowl
Thanks,
talk
man.
coming up next. Thanks to the one and the only. Cut off a little bit. Not my level of short hair, but former shaggy-haired Floridian. Stay tuned. We'll wrap up the Rice Basketball Show after this with Coach Para. This is the Rice Basketball Show from Learfield.
Behind every door at Houston Methodist, you know what to expect. Expertise. Whether it's life-saving brain surgery, your 3D mammogram that catches breast cancer sooner, or orthopedic specialists helping you feel stronger than ever. With hundreds of doors across Houston, you can get expert care everywhere.
That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
OWL fans, need a lift? Look no further than Avalon Bus Services. Servicing the entire nation, Avalon Bus Services can take any group size, any distance, and is ready to service you OWL fans. Servicing your Owls since 2016, it is a no-brainer why the Owls choose Avalon for their transportation needs. With 10 different locations as well as nationwide services, it is easier than ever to book with Avalon Bus Services. To book a ride for your next Owls game, whether on the road or here at Rice Stadium, visit avalonbus.com. Avalon Bus, proud sponsor of Rice Athletics.
The newly renovated Houston Marriott Medical Center Museum District is a proud new sponsor of Rice University Athletics. For visiting families and fans, the closest hotel to Rice University is delighted to offer preferred rates. Guests will enjoy 2 new restaurants, a new exclusive M Club lounge, and complimentary shuttle service within 2 miles of the hotel. Visit Marriott.com to learn more.
You're listening to the Rice Owls Basketball Show. Now let's rejoin the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes. You know what? Back here, the final show, or final segment of the show, pardon the cough drop, Coach there. It's got me loopy with Coach Para. A lot may know from in the past, we always joke when we had our different locations, Houston Drive Time Radio, watch out. We got the Para and Heath, or Heath and Para show coming up. So in the past, we'd kind of segue into some other sports. Any big takes on the Super Bowl matchup coming up or watching? I know you had some game film, obviously, to prep for Memphis yesterday, but the title games.
I took a break to watch some football. I needed it. I needed to clear my head a little bit, and before we prepare for Memphis. But we have an interesting situation because the office is going to be tense. Coach Howell being a diehard 49er fan and Coach Pennell being a diehard Chiefs fan. There's going to be a lot of tension the next 2 weeks. I'm not picking sides yet, and we'll wait till we get closer till I make my prediction of who I'm going to side with.
I don't know. I think Chiefs for me.
Okay.
because I don't want any of them to win. I told you I picked the opposite matchup. I think I was picking more with the heart.
So was I. We didn't get what we wanted.
Yeah, that happens sometimes in this life. But I think Mahomes he's just a slight tick behind Jordan, Brady, Tiger, like the elite of the elites.
Well, he is. He's tremendous. And I thought what was interesting, though, is the Chiefs' defense is what won that game.
Yeah.
I mean, for them to hold, the Chiefs did not score either. They had a hard time, and that defense really shut down the MVP of the league. And it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I do think that, and what's in Vegas, so that's going to be quite a show. The first one there, that'll be wild. But that's a couple weeks away. We got a lot of Rice Owls basketball between now and then.
And we have any Nets? Not Nets. We have Clippers.
Big game tonight.
Okay.
At Cleveland.
Okay.
And Cleveland's playing well. I think they have the two best records in the league I saw since December 15th or 10th or whatever. They can make it look however they want. But Cleveland's playing very well. And Clippers are there tonight. We'll see the score here when I get off. I'm always checking the scores, same as I always have. And he is playing an incredible level. And Clippers are really good. And so, hopefully, if Kawhi, Paul, and James can stay healthy, that's the key. At their age, obviously, they're going to be a force come May. And so I'm always excited about that.
How's my buddy Trey Murphy doing? I'll watch every third game or so. I'll watch a good extended amount of time. How's Trey doing?
Those are the two I follow. He's in a little bit of a shooting slump right now, and hopefully he'll break out of it. He will break out of it. Just a matter of time. So hopefully we'll get him back on track with a big game here soon. It's funny you bring up Trey, who I also follow every game. Kenny Murphy, Trey's father, before the Florida Atlantic game, about an hour, I'm in my office, before we get together, do our little pregame interview, and he sends me a text wearing his Rice Owls sweatshirt saying, "Let's go Owls." So that made me feel really good. It's nice to know how much the Murphys, care about us and want to see us do well and what Trey, thinks of his time here. So all really, really special to me.
Yeah, he's going to be in the league a long, long time.
Yes, he is.
Isn't he?
He's about to get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull him up. I can't find who they're playing next. But, hey, Coach, thanks.
Always, JP.
Good seeing you.
Yes, sir. See you. I'm sure we can find the barbecue spots. I'll have to follow you around Memphis, huh?
Yeah, we'll test to see if folks are watching, but I will lower my standards and have some Memphis barbecue. We've got some post-game meal, but it's Texas barbecue up here and every other barbecue way down here.
You're predetermining that already.
And I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that, too. I'm fine. I'm okay with that.
Oh, I gave you some cheesesteaks, so yeah, at least we got that.
I will take your food recommendations. Trust
All right.
me. Thanks, boss. Appreciate it.
Yep.
That's the one and only Scott Pera. Remember, you can catch the Rice Owls basketball shows each week. Monday night at 6. First half, we have Lindsay Edmonds and a player, and like you just saw, we have Scott Pera and a player segment after that. Stay tuned. We have Rice basketball coming up this week. 2 women's games, 2 men's games, all on ESPN Plus and the Varsity Network app, riceowls.com, and the Owls Game Day app. Have a great rest of this night. God bless. Go Owls. Rice fight. We'll be talking to you next week on the Rice Owls basketball show on Learfield.
On the Rice Owls Sports Network from Learfield, you've been listening to the Rice Owls basketball show with Scott Pera and Lindsay Edmonds. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Rice Owls Sports Network.